This is the new Audi Q3. It is to Audi what the X1 is to BMW. Now, while it may look like an 80% reduction copy of the Q5, it's very different. It's got a transverse engine for starters. It's a 2-litre diesel. It's all-wheel drive. It's got a 7-speed twin-clutch gearbox. There's a lot of aluminium in the car, in the construction, so it's light too. We're here in Zurich to drive this. Let's see what it's like. The Q3 is based on VW's Tiguan, so it's about the same size as the Volvo SUV, which means it's about 250 mm shorter than the Q5. Its wheelbase is 157 mm less than its arch rival the X1 too. The big news, however, is that though this will be the cheapest Audi in India, they insist that this will maintain the premium feel of the Audi Q5 and the Q7. Let's see. Well, it definitely feels premium inside. The only difference is that you sit a bit closer to your passenger. Our car was appointed with all black interiors and aluminium highlights, but this did nothing to take away from the quality feel. I think the only thing we missed were the manual adjust seats and the steering. As for space, the Q3 provides just enough. There's reasonably comfortable accommodation for 4 inside. This is supposed to be a compact small SUV, but it doesn't feel like that from the inside. There's good legroom, that's my driving position, so there is good space, good headroom. Thigh support is good. It is quite comfortable in here. Audi is offering 2 engines in India, and I got my hands on the diesel first. So this is the 2-litre 177 horsepower diesel, one of the 2 engines that are coming to India. The other is a 2-litre petrol. Before I say anything, I'd like to say the Swiss police, they're very strict about the speed limits. If I'm caught doing 2 kilometers an hour over the speed limit, they behead me and send me back home on a plane. So within this limited performance range, I'd say this is a good engine. It responds well to throttle inputs. It's a nice kind of engine. It's smooth for this kind of car. If there is something that I don't like about it, I think it's a little too loud. Wait, I'll give you a demonstration. I don't know if you can hear this, but listen to that. Yeah? And that's the problem. You do that, you're over the speed limit again. So you've got to be damn careful. With about 39 kgm of torque on offer, the 2-litre diesel responds instantly to throttle inputs. The 7-speed twin-clutch gearbox shifts quickly and the engine is quite smooth. Floor the throttle and the Q3 diesel is pretty quick. Not blindingly quick, but enjoyable anyway. Driving the 2-litre turbo petrol after this is a revelation. Sure, this engine won't be as popular as the diesel in India, but with its 211 bhp, it's massively enjoyable. It's rev happy, snarls like a wildcat, and is smoother than silk. Audi claims a 6.9 second time for the 0 to 100 kph, which isn't too far off a lot of performance saloons. Of course, like a true blue Audi, the Q3 we're driving had Quattro 4-wheel drive on tap for maximum grip. And of course, you can play with the suspension settings further to fine-tune your drive. The Q3 comes with Audi's Drive Select system. It lets you tweak steering, suspension, throttle response and gearbox settings. I'm going to comfort now, and the ride is very good. But that's no surprise because the roads are brilliant too. As for the handling, let me go to dynamic. Yep. Steering's got a bit more weight, it's light otherwise. It's easy to handle. This car feels compact, much more than a Q7 or a Q5. But again, I'm driving at 50 kilometers an hour. I'd love to go much faster and tell you how it actually is, but I am scared for my neck. comfort preset which works best for daily driving. It allows for a smooth enough ride without disturbing the calm of the Q3's cabin. And it doesn't sacrifice too much on the high-speed handling either. The dynamic mode adds weight to the car's steering and body control becomes tighter. But let's put it this way, it's no BMW X1. And when you're in the mood for some planet saving, there's one more mode in the drive select system. It's called efficiency. What it does is disengage the clutch when you're coasting, thereby saving fuel. There's also a stop-start system and an energy recovery system. This was just our first look, but we came away feeling that the Q3 is an impressive package. While we won't know how well it rides and handles until we give it the India road treatment, there's no denying how rounded and desirable the Q3 seems to be. So, the Q3 will be launched in India second quarter 2012. What can you expect? Well, good looks, good interiors, decent space, decent engines. It's the right size. It'll be priced somewhere on the BMW X1. I think it'll fit like a glove.
We're in conversation with Thomas Ernberg, the new Managing Director of Volvo Auto India, who takes over from Paul Devois. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. You've been with Volvo over various different countries, but India is a very, very different market. What do you foresee for Volvo in India?
Volvo is quite new to the market in India. We've been here for roughly around 4 years. During these 4 years, Volvo has gone from nothing at all to an established company. To a complete separate legal entity. We have a dealer network around 7 cities in India. I think going forward is going to be focused on increasing the number of dealers, presence in a number of cities, increasing the number of service outlets that we have. And I think Volvo is very proud to be part of the growth strategy that India has, because the opportunity is just amazing.
What is the kind of growth that you're looking at, the number of dealerships and the number of vehicles that you're looking at in the next 2 or 3 years?
I would say spontaneously that at least we will double the number of dealers, perhaps even more than that, with the little I know. Volume-wise, I would say again, double, tripling the volumes in the coming 3-4 years.
Worldwide, you say Volvo has the target of 800,000 cars, which is almost double by 2020. What part will India play in this growth?
If you look percentage-wise, I think India perhaps will be the top 5 in percentage increase-wise worldwide, which will contribute to the 800,000 cars.
A lot of your competitors have corporate versions or executive versions of the cars at lower price points, which brings in a different kind of customer and also increases their base. Is Volvo looking at something like this? Because the presence, as I see it now, is really lacking.
We will definitely focus on a corporate or fleet offer. In many countries, Volvo does have a very strong fleet offer. We have it in Sweden, we have it in Europe, we have it in the Middle East, and definitely we'll be focusing on a fleet offer here in India as well.
The Indian market is very skewed towards diesel. Does Volvo account for more diesel cars in India than petrol, and what's the breakup?
Diesel has become very important in India, and I would say more than 80–90% of our cars are in diesel.
When you do a price point with the kind of features that will come into the Indian market, has Volvo accounted for more features for the back seat? Because it's not like worldwide where everything is driver-centric.
I will not comment on the few products coming forward. I could say that Volvo has generally focused on the driver and driver-centric. More and more, they're realizing now that we need to also do something for the back seat. And I think with the latest, we introduced the rear seat entertainment, which you can have DVDs, television, you name it, games you can play, etc. So more and more of this will come in the future, for sure.
Also in the sedan segment, will we see cars lower down the order, say below the S60?
Perhaps.
What do you foresee as the problems for growth of Volvo in India, and what is the way forward that you're going to look at?
The focus area would be to increase the dealer network. increase our presence in both in human resources, but also in the fixed marketing. So that's basically in a nutshell.